Hi there, welcome to Gardens and Graveyards. My name is Charisma and today we are in the garden. I thought it'd be really fun to do a little spring garden tour of basically our flowering shrubs. There's a lot of stuff coming up in the garden that I'm excited about, but the big show right now is the flowering shrubs. And then there's an airplane flying over. So I'm gonna flip this around and just start giving you a tour. It's mid-May and mostly we're gonna be looking at rhododendrons, which is kind of like the queen of the coast as far as evergreen shrubs that flower. So let's get started. Okay, so we're in our backyard and we've done a lot of work in this area talking about tulips and bulbs and flowers that we've been planting. But the really fun thing that's happening right now is behind this gated area, there's this whole row of rhodies starting to bloom, or they're in full bloom. So let's get a little bit closer and take a look at them. That lilac is just about done. You can see some blooms still on there, but not much left. I did get a good harvest from them, but here is this one. And the unique part of this one is it's got a really dark leaf, which is really fun. And then walk by our Pieris, which has, of course, a fantastic new growth color. Those are really fun. And then right next to it is this beautiful blush color rhododendron. I'll get really close so you can see inside how the throat is like this yellowy, creamy color. Really beautiful. And behind it is some more lilacs, and then on the other side is more lilacs. You can see the rose there, but she hasn't come into bloom yet. Lots of buds, if you could see them very good. Yeah, lots of buds. It just hasn't been hot enough yet. This rhodie has not started blooming yet at all, obviously. I had to do a lot of cutting on this rhodie last spring, so I think I might have cut off a lot of the blooms, but there's a few coming in. There's a big one back there. These rhododendrons, the camellia is looking fantastic. She bloomed all on the back side. So this is the front side that everybody can see, and then there's a trellis behind it, and it was in full bloom behind it. There's like a 18-inch walkway between that trellis and the fence. It's just like maintenance access. But she was in full bloom back there for quite a while. You could see she was just a pink camellia. There's a discarded bloom there. She's done. And then this is the next rhododendron, and it's like this beautiful coral color. Really pretty. And then we have these big magenta ones back there. Really gorgeous. Now all of these rhododendrons were in this garden when I moved into this house. So I have no idea what the names of any of these varieties are. And a lot of them had to be pruned drastically. This rhododendron, I mean, she looks glorious this year. Look at that. I mean, oh my goodness, beautiful. But it struggled really hard for quite some time, and I had to do some hard pruning on it to get it to this point. We've been in this house, this will be the 4th spring. So they're coming along, and I may have to replace a couple. The magenta one back in the very back there, it has black spots so bad. I just don't know how long it's gonna last for us. Okay, so we're gonna head on down to the lower garden. I don't know there's much else to see beyond the row of rhodies. No, nothing else is really blooming yet. They're coming, but it's not there. So we're just gonna head down to the lower garden, and I will show you some more rhododendrons. But I'll show you some more rhododendrons. All right. So this is the area that's gonna get all developed this spring or summer, really. But I do want another rhododendron down here. I want 3 more rhododendrons. We have, I think, 15 on the property, 15 or 16. And I want 3 more that are very unique and specific. So I want this one that has these huge leaves that are like 18 inches long. And they have a beautiful yellow bloom. And then I want a traditional rhodie, but it's white with a dark purple throat. I don't have any white rhodies on my property, so I definitely want one of those. And then I want one, I don't really care what color, but I want one that has the fuzzy underleaf, because I don't have any fuzzy underleaf rhodies. So those are my like 3 goals as far as any more rhododendrons go. Wanted to show you really quick down by the creek our skunk cabbage. It's not in bloom. I'll probably get it in bloom and get film of it in bloom, but in case I don't, I just wanted to show you how beautiful it looks next to the creek. All right, so the skunk cabbage is all of these big bunches along the creek side here. They're totally natural. They just grew here, and it's almost like we planted them. They're just perfectly spaced. I just absolutely adore that about them. But yeah, this is our creek. It's flowing pretty good. I don't know if you could see it. I mean, it's a tiny creek, but it's doing pretty good. It's getting a little choked out over here, so I need to definitely do some cleaning of blackberry and fern, and there's some juncus and a lot of skunk cabbage. You can see the big leaves back there of the skunk cabbage. Anyway, all right, let's head back up here, and you can see the gunnera. I will try to find a picture and post it from like a month ago, but it has doubled in size. Pretty fantastic. I fully expect it to hit our balcony this year, because it's almost the height that it was last year, and it's only May, and it will get much larger over this season. Okay, so then come the more of the actual tour. So I wanted to give you an update on the hostas that we planted in April. Our Woo La La is here. Everything is up, right? So here's one. Here's one. I'm not going to pretend to remember all their names. This is an Abiqua recluse. I don't remember the name of that one offhand. There's one coming up right there. That one's up. A little one is there. Another one is up right there. This bed is looking really nice. All these plants have come back. They're all perennials, so it's kind of nice to know that they're here and alive. The dogwood's doing really good. And this is the first year my Solomon seal came up and bloomed, which I'm really happy about. And then we have a Miss Ruby right there, and another hosta back there, and another one over on this side. I'm seeing some slug damage. We're trying to be really diligent about putting slug bait out here, but it has been raining so much it's hard to keep up. The slug bait gets damaged in the rain. Okay, so then we have this rhododendron here. This is the first side that blooms, and it's the only one of the 3 in bloom right now. Except upstairs, oh yeah, this one, if you could see it in here, where am I? Yeah, this one has never bloomed before. So, and it's a slightly different color. It's on a different plant. I can see where it's coming from now. I can see it from my upstairs windows, and I was like, hey, there's another kind of rhodie up there. So that's kind of fun. So you can see they're like a really lavender-like rhododendron. It's like a light purple. And then that one will bloom next. Oh, so we're over here. This one's starting to bloom back in the back, and then it'll start coming up to the front. And then that one will bloom, and it's a really dark purple. And then that one will bloom up there, and it's kind of like a medium purple. Or maybe I'm switching them. Well, anyways, I have pictures of them all in bloom together, so I will post a picture of what it looks like basically right here when they're all blooming together. Okay, so now we're just gonna keep cruising along here. If I waited for all the rhodies to be in bloom down here, then this one would be done blooming, and so would a couple of others. And that's part of the deal when you're doing succession planting, is not everything is going to be in bloom at once, and that's how you want it, right? So here's our mystery hosta. It looks beautiful, and hopefully somebody with really good hosta ID will be able to tell me what it is, so I can label it properly. And then there's the fire and ice. It's coming up and doing okay, but it's kind of slow going. So I don't know if it's the soil there, or if it's just, I don't know. We'll just keep our eye open on it. Up here, our staghorn sumac is leafing out and looking beautiful. And then we have columbines blooming. So, aren't those sweet? I just love them. So cute. Alright, and then in our last tour, last month in our last tour, that rhododendron right there was in bloom. It was yellow. It's now being taken over by buttercup, which I need to pull. That looks so much better without buttercup all over it. Yay! Buttercup is tricky because this is geranium, and buttercup looks very much like it. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here. So this is buttercup, has these flowers. This is buttercup, but that right there, get it out of focus, that is geranium. Buttercup, geranium. Really similar. And then this azalea was in bloom You can still see a few left, but it's also done. Then we have this azalea, which still looks fantastic. It's tucked up here between our porch and our cypress. Looks really pretty. But her sister over there is completely done, but that's the very first one that blooms for the season. This orange azalea is getting ready to pop open, but it's not there yet. This one we planted, and it's fragrant, which is exciting because we don't have any fragrant ones. And then, yeah, as you can see, this azalea is totally done. I need to rake it out and then prune it a little bit just to keep it tidy and shapely. And then on the other side of the walkway is this beautiful red one. And it's just about done too. The rain has weighted down those petals and it's not going to last too much longer. But I really love this view with the purple iris and the red blooms, and then the lemony lace elderberry peeking up from behind there. And then of course down below is the Hellebore is still in bloom. I think this is probably one of my favorite vistas of this garden right now. And then just recently we added that sweet little angel right there. It's so perfect. And then inside here in this little grove of privet and elderberry, we have a bunch of hostas. So here's one here, and this patch is the Pearly Everlasting. And then we have that sweet one right there, this giant one, this giant one. We have one coming up right here. And then we have that one happening right there. And of course we have the forget-me-nots and the bleeding hearts. And more of the beautiful glowing pieris. That new growth is just stunning. And I think that pretty much sums it up for this tour. Everything else, it is waking up. The lilies are getting taller, but there's no buds. The irises, there's just like 2 or 3 open. You saw 2 of them. The roses are growing, but there's no buds. I think the little roses have tiny buds on them, but the big roses don't have any buds yet. So it's spring, and spring has sprung, but the big show was definitely the rhododendrons and the flowering shrubs, the lilacs and the azaleas. It's so beautiful this time of year. It's just like, it's exciting because it's getting ready to really amp up the garden season. It's here. Until the next time, please like and subscribe so you are notified every time there is a new video up. And in the meantime, keep living life to the fullest every day. Bye. Even the rhododendrons down at the cemetery look absolutely gorgeous. I had to share them.